What's good, Black Belt? What's up, Piff? Shottie's joined. Yo, yo.
Yo.
It's good, Shottie.
What's going on, bro?
Not much, man. Just the usual, man. Underslept today, but we're good, man. It's a regular stay for me.
I don't expect anything less, brother.
Yeah.
You know?
How's your day been?
It's been good, man. It's like I actually had some time off away from the shop today, so I actually took advantage and did a lot of recording.
Oh,
I had
nice.
I had a few things that I needed to catch up on. So a couple people have been waiting for features and shit like that, and I just been so caught up that finally today I got to knock a couple of those things out. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Usually I catch you when you're closing up shop.
Yeah, this is the first one we done at the crib, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Nice. So look, we're big time now. I give introductions now. So I'm gonna give you a formal introduction.
Okay.
This is Shottie 305, Miami Zone, repping Kendall to be specific.
Yes, sir.
And very well known lyricist in his parts, getting known more broadly for sure. Working with bigger producers with every release I talked to him about. And well-respected lyricist, opened for Conway not too long ago. You know, we could go on and on. I do want to mention, man, I've been through his whole catalog. This is my 4th time chopping up with Shottie. We're homies at this point. But I've been through his whole catalog. It's so consistent. He's one of my favorite MCs, period. I don't add any more descriptions to that. I just say one of my favorite MCs, period. That's it. So
and I don't take that for granted, bro. Especially knowing how precise you are with your platform. You know what I'm saying? Like I know you really, really do the homework, man. So if you went back all the way to 2011 to 2012 when I was dropping my first couple joints or whatever, then shit, man. I know your shit is for real. So
thanks,
honestly,
man.
I take your compliments and your feedback very seriously. You know that by the fact that I send you shit before I send it to anybody else, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I will also add, for those tuning in, a big reason why I've continued doing this platform is just the back and forth I have with Shottie, the dialogue, sharing of ideas and stuff. He's a big contributor kind of to this platform. And when you come on, I like having you on again. It's like home base to me personally, you know what I mean? As far as the IG platform goes, man. So yeah.
Yeah, I respect what you do, man. You know that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I really respect what you do. And I hear the chatter about your channel, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not the only one that feels that way. I'll tell you that. You know
King Tech just joined. What's up, King Tech?
Peace,
Thank you for joining, man. Peace. Yeah, man. So look, I really like looking at your album release parties or premieres. They seem to get bigger and better every time, so to speak. How was the premiere for the album that we're here to discuss? Death Occurred Last Night. How did that go? That was about a week ago?
Yeah, it was on Friday. So with each one of these listening sessions, you know what I'm saying? Like I just been seeing more and more like faces that I don't recognize and just more and more people that I didn't see at the last one coming through. So it feels like the movement keeps gaining momentum and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this one was fucking incredible. We sold out the vinyls, you know what I'm saying? We sold a bunch of merch, but more importantly, people were having a great time and really fucking with the album, bro. Like really genuinely fucking with the album. So at the end of the day, that's the goal, you know what I'm saying? So I'm very, very happy with it.
And I think you're telling me there's a lot more unfamiliar faces, right?
Yeah, like usually, you know what I'm saying? Like the first few that I've done it hasn't been open invite. So I've had to like actually send you an invitation. So most of the people there, you know, faces that I recognize, but this last one I just made it open. Yeah. And bro, I just seemed, you know, it just seemed to be a thing to do that night, you know what I'm saying? Which was cool, you know?
Yeah. The cool thing about the relationship we have is that you encourage me to give you feedback, right? You know, I think very highly of your skill set and shit like that, but we're at a point where I can openly give you feedback. And on your last album, Stigmatic, I'm like, yo, the lyrics are a 10. the overall cohesion of the project, I think I gave it a 7 or an 8. But at the end of the day, that shit doesn't even matter, because this time around at your album release party, you had like what, double the people, and that's
Yeah.
because of that album, right? So I guess what I mean to say is, like, we have fun going back and forth talking about what makes for good art, but at the end of the day, it's just about dropping shit and seeing the growth. You know what I mean? And not
I've
getting
been
over
doing
caught
it.
up on it.
I've been doing it long enough to where um, I, I don't get emotionally attached to my shit the way I used to. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah,
I'm pretty good with criticism, bro. Like,
yeah,
and I know coming from you is coming from a good place. I might not give somebody else that same grace. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
But you're a real
Right,
hip hop head. You know what I'm saying? And it's rare that I come across that type of shit and somebody that could articulate it how you do. You
right,
know what I'm saying? So like, bro,
right.
I take, and look, even when we disagree, I
Yeah,
haven't agreed with everything you said, like positive or negative. Maybe sometimes I don't agree with the positives. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
even when we disagree, it's like, okay, this is this is why I did this. This is how I felt about it, and this is my reason. I
yeah.
always got a reason. You know what I'm saying? So man, I appreciate it, though. I really do.
I,
Like the back and
I,
forths are constructive.
and sometimes I hear what you have to say, and then I kind of change my perspective. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. So,
Look,
so,
I
so, so
also
that,
take into account that you're an artist too, and you had a period in your life where you were really pushing to try to do this shit. You know what I mean? So
yeah, yeah, for
the way
sure.
you come at something is
Right,
might not be the same way I come at something. It doesn't make me right and you wrong, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? It's just, bro, you're an artist too, so that's how you would
yeah,
have done it.
yeah.
You feel me?
But it's dope that you can take. I've said this before, that you can take that criticism and say, no, but this is my vision overall, and keep
Right.
it moving. That's the sign of a real artist to me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, my shit is
that's dope.
unwavering. I could take I could listen to the feedback, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty secure in the way that I do my shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And most likely, if there's a criticism, I've thought about it and I made a
Yeah,
choice to go the way that I did. You feel me?
yeah, yeah. I mean, the dope thing is as well, I think very highly of your skills and your music, and the fact that you actually sent me this album about a month in advance, man. That's fucking dope that you even invite me into that feedback process, man. And yeah, man, and just I have you come on again and again because we're homies at this point, but really it's because of your talent. But I just want people to know, like, I tell you like it is. You know what I'm saying? I gave you a review. I think your new album is a classic. But early on, when you sent it to me, the mix, I was like, yo, I think you could squeeze a little more juice out of this mixer master. Not that I'm an
Mm.
expert, you know what I'm saying? But it's cool again that we have that back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And
All you
yeah,
other interviewers, don't get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? This is the
yeah,
LV thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get comfortable. You don't be telling me about my mixes and shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
I might get
No, no,
offended.
I might get too comfortable myself. I gotta watch out.
Nah, never that.
Yeah, man. So yeah, let's. Anything else been going on, kind of leading up to this? Any events or happenings before we get into the album and kind of dig in?
Nah, I mean, like at some point we're trying to put together like an album release party. That was the listening session. We're trying to put together an album release party with performances and shit like that. And also I've got a trip to New York that I've been like formulating and shit like that. So definitely,
Oh wow,
I'll spend some time in New York and get a couple things done there. But that's really all
nice.
I got right now in the tuck, besides the all the music that I got. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
you're working on what like 2, 3 projects right now at the same time still, even with this one out, or
Yeah, with this one out right now, the project I'm working on right now, and I don't mind saying it, I'm working on something with Pharma Beats,
wow,
legendary
wow,
producer out of the UK. So if anybody knows who that is, like it's dude is so ill with the beats, you know what I'm saying? And we've been cooking up some crazy shit. So that one's like it's like maybe like 85% done, I would say. Um,
right,
And then I got a couple other things in the works, and of course, I got some shit with Tev 95. That's
Yeah, yeah.
automatic. Yeah,
That's your home base right there, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Um, before we get into the album, how did that come about with Pharma Beats? How did you guys connect?
Uh, I stepped to him actually, asking him about beats, and he it just so happened that he fucking knew who I was, which caught me by surprise. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Right.
we just started going back and forth. I think he sent me a few, and then I knocked some out, and then we were like, all right, bro, let's do an album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, we've been locking in ever since, and just knocking out bangers. I'm really excited about that one too, man. That's gonna be a special one.
With the caliber of producer and kind of how well known he is, are you treating that like your first album, despite all the classics? You know, I say you're dropping classics, in my opinion, with all my taste in hip hop. But are you treating that like your first, or what's the thought process going into that one?
I think the more albums I drop, the more I realize that, bro, I just need to make the albums and let the
Yeah.
people decide what's what.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Right.
Because like
True.
I didn't go into like the death occurred last night thinking, this is a classic. That's just how
Yeah.
people have received it so far. You know what I mean? So like that's not something I'm not even gonna waste energy trying to plan that. You know what I'm saying?
For
I think
sure.
where I'm strongest is just focusing on the music, and that the rest will kind of sort itself out. That's kind of where I'm
Make
at
make
with it. You know what I'm
Makes sense, man.
saying?
But leave that to people like myself. But it's cool that when you drop something, people see the depth in it. You know what I'm saying?
For
So
sure.
so it must be interesting to hear what other people think. You know, once it comes to life, once it drops.
Yeah, that shit
But
never gets old to me because I create these things in a vacuum. You know what I'm saying? I record them in my fucking at the crib. You know what I'm saying? And so
right,
I create a lot of these albums in a vacuum, especially the ones I've been doing without Tev, because usually it's me and Tev
yeah,
building the projects, and there's always like a back and forth. But when it's
yeah,
just me, you know what I'm saying, going through the beats and making those executive decisions on my own, like
yeah,
that feedback becomes invaluable to me. You know what I mean? And that's a big reason why I do these listening sessions, because for the most part, that's the first time I've heard the album with people. You
yeah.
get what I'm saying? So
I'll,
yeah,
I'll,
man.
oh, go ahead.
No, no,
Sorry,
no.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, cool.
I'll share something crazy with you. Crazy idea. I interviewed Al Biz again. You know, I'm a big fan of his.
Mm.
He told me he had a listening party, and then he sent out like an individual survey after, I believe, asking people which songs did you like the most.
I
I
like that.
thought that was pretty smart, bro. You
I
know what
like
I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. So
That's
I thought
something
I'd
you
share that.
see at like a film. You know what I'm saying? Like film screenings. Like if
Right.
you go to a film
Right.
screening for a Hollywood film, they'll pass out a little survey afterwards or whatever, and to get feedback. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 It's like a foolproof thing, I think. You know. But
I'm
yeah.
not mad at that. Shout to
Yeah.
Elvis for that. I like that.
So is Tev around still for feedback and shit, or are you just completely kind of in your own universe,
Not,
fucking just
Tev actually. Well, he played a bigger role than I think I let on with my previous answer, because he did like mix and master the whole shit. But that was after I'd done all the recording. You know what I'm saying? But then
right?
I actually got to have that like back and forth once I had all the sessions. You know what I'm saying? And me and Tev were doing the whole mixing process. Then there was definitely a lot of back and forth there, and he you know what I'm saying, fixed some things in the sequencing also that I had, like move some things around, and he even gave me some insight on what he feels like are the strongest songs and shit like that. And from Tab, really, I hold his opinion the highest. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, he definitely. But again, that's after I had already done the whole recording process. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So look, to me, this album feels like kind of a '60s, '70s like thriller movie or comic book, something like that. I imagine it wasn't clear to you. I mean, do you feel that it's that? And was it clear to you that this is the direction it was going in? And when did it become clear to you where this project was going sonically?
Yeah, that was, bro, surprisingly on this one, that was very, very late stage. The
Right.
album had a different name
Oh
throughout
yeah.
most of the building of it, you know what I mean? And even the way I perceived the album is funny, bro, because like a lot of the beats are very like, I feel like very hardcore East Coast, grimy. So I
Yeah.
was thinking about it in my mind almost like mixtape-ish. Like
Right.
this is just like some hard ass beats and I'm gonna just spit some bars to it and it's just gonna be some like, it didn't feel like so albumish to me in the sense where like traditionally with the fucking 16 bars and the 8 bar hooks, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how I started perceiving the album for like most of the recording process. And then somewhere towards like I would say like the third quarter or fourth quarter, I came up with the idea of doing it like a grindhouse film because that's the kind of the
Right.
feel that I was getting from these beats. I was like, damn, this sounds like some old school exploitation movie type of feel, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I personally like grindhouse films anyway.
Right.
So I started looking up a bunch of old films. The title "Death Occurred Last Night" is actually from an old Italian film. Like
Mm.
the actual name of the album is in Italian. Don't ask me to say it because I can't. But
Right.
the actual name of the movie, excuse me, is actually in Italian. So I just took it and put it to English. You know what I mean? But yeah, I
Right.
kind of took the name and just built the whole concept around that. And once I had that locked in, that's when I feel like I made some of like the pillar tracks, like Bendiga, the first single. I made that song after I already had the concept locked in because now it's like, oh, okay, now I'm
Yeah.
kind of filling the holes and just making the album like take more of a shape.
Yeah. And I mean, you got different producers across the whole thing. And I said in the little video review I did, it sounds like your most cohesive project, actually. Not that your others aren't, but it's crazy how that came together. Were any of these like producers part of some like production group or something, or is it all just random producers? I mean, we'll get into it. Like we'll kind of go through it track by track shortly, if you're cool with that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so this album, just to give the context, this album is released and distributed by Exquisite Dope Records. That's
right.
my man Davino's label, you know what I'm saying? So one of the things that Davino brought to the table, and shout out to Davino, he's another one that was there from the beginning of the creative process, you know what I mean? He's really who I partnered with on this album. So
Right.
uh, he's got a team of dope ass producers, and that's like the big thing that he was bringing to the table. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he just started feeding me beats. But what was dope was like the beats didn't have no names on it, so I didn't know who
Right.
produced what. I was familiar
Right.
with some of these producers, like I knew K
Right.
Slugger and Alejandrito Argenal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was familiar with these producers, but I
Yeah.
didn't know who did what. And I
Right.
liked it that way because I was just picking beats based on what I thought sounded dope together, and not like, oh, I need to pick one from him and pick one from. And it
Yeah.
just turned out, I had two from this guy and maybe one from him. It turned out how it turned out. You know what I'm saying? But
But but it's all from the same production group, like
all
group of
except the
producers, or
795 beat. That one
got
you
it.
know what I mean? I snuck in myself.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So, and then
But
you have an executive producer. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, just shout out to that, yo, bro. Like that whole squad, like them dudes. He got some monsters over there. You know what I'm saying? Clipto,
Right.
Alejandrito, Miza, True Cipher, Gustavo, bro. Like they got monsters out there, bro. It's crazy. K Slugger, you know what I mean?
And,
It's a bunch of fucking monsters, bro.
and they reached out to you, or you kind of knew them already. This group.
Bro, I didn't know who did the shit till after I actually recorded the song. So I've never really
Got it.
done this before. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Right.
totally different process for me.
Right.
So, after I had the album mixed and mastered and everything, that's when Davino sent it to the producers. Again,
Yeah.
it's a whole new way of working for me, but it was dope. It was, you know what I mean? It was interesting. It was a dope like change of pace.
Yeah.
But, he took some screenshots of like the group chat. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, Davino, my bad. But he took some screenshots of their group chat with like some of their feedback on the album and shit, and it was super positive. Which to me, I was like, that's one of the things I was like, damn man, I want the producers to be on board with this. That was important to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I've never
Yeah,
really
man.
worked this way where I'm not in contact directly
Right.
with the motherfuckers
Right.
making the beats.
Right. Right. Right.
So that was important to me, man. So those screenshots, lit me up. I was like, good, bro.
Yeah,
I
it
felt good about that.
must be good to get that, eventually get that validation periodically.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts, yeah.
Yeah, man. So we'll go through a track by track, kind of, if you're cool with it. You got the feature presentation. I think you said that was a 60s or 70s Italian movie that basically establishes the name of the project, right? Death Occurred Last Night, I think is mentioned uh,
Yep.
in the intro. And then you got Pelican Fly. I'm just going to quote you because I like the description. Like I said in my review, it's not like there's a linear story from track to track, but you got some narration in it that makes it kind of feel like that from
Yeah.
time to time.
Yep.
You said, I'm back to back, chain smoking in traffic, hauling ass home, praying that my landlord don't open the package. I came to find it was a gram short, but said, fuck it, these are the taxes, and threw the JanSport over the jacket. It kind of gets that feeling in motion that there's some sort of narration here
Yeah.
tied in with the sound. So,
Yeah.
so I like that, man.
I think what
then,
attracted me to writing in the first place is storytelling. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
even on my songs that don't have like a specific topic, I'm always
yeah,
telling stories within the bars. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And then on the hook, you're like, fly, pelican, fly. You're referring, I guess, to your homies sending some girls, I guess, cross country for some business transactions. But the visual is there, man, with the hazy beat. So it sets the tone nicely. Bendiga track is track 3. What does that mean? That's
Blessed.
Blessed?
Yeah.
Got it.
Dios te bendiga.
Yeah, so
so there's
more
if you're a Latin
go
kid,
ahead.
you heard that every night before you went to sleep, Que Dios te bendiga.
Got it. Understood. So there's another set of bars I'm going to quote here. This kind of sets the stage. I was in the telly nervous, trying to reach the plug, but they're
barely service.
Yeah, but they're in Bailey's service. I was lost. I had no daily purpose. Life was barely working. Google daily searches, how to hide a body and alien serpents. What fucking stage in your life are you in, bro? And is that the body of, death occurred last night? Is there some sort of body involved in this, or?
I don't know that the searches back then. Like I don't even think it was Google, but
Right.
Google just fit for
it
the
rhymed.
time frame. But no, it wasn't Google. But I went through my conspiracy phase too, and it happened to coincide with some of my other stages. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's and there's certain shit where I'm like, I was Googling how to hide a body. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's not because I was trying to hide a body. I'm also a screenwriter, and I had
Right.
I've written
Got it.
screenplays about hiding bodies and shit like that. So
Right.
it's just,
Right.
but it's a joke I always made. Like, man, if somebody saw my search history, they'd be concerned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. I've said this before. Like, I know you're a screenwriter and you're involved in film. I've said it before. I feel like you rap like a screenwriter. Like, that's your writing style. The way you paint a picture and like use the right words at the right time to describe shit. Like a nice even shot. You know what I mean? Something like that. So
that's a dope compliment. I'll take that.
Yeah, man. So Kansas City Shuffle track 4 with Maze Overlay. I thought that was the best collab on the track. I've said it before, like, when are you guys coming out with an EP? Both of you dudes are laid back. You let your words do the talking, you know what I'm saying? You guys get busy while being laid back, man. You guys are too talented mofos. Yeah. So is there an EP in the works yet, or?
I mean, we have an EP's worth of material at this point, you know what I mean? But nah, man, shout to Maze. Maze is, bro, if it's in the stars, it'll happen. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, man.
Maze is as busy as I am. You can see it. I think we're both on 3 albums this year so far. So yeah, man. Yeah. Shout to him. I respect anybody in the underground that's pushing that hard. You know what I'm saying? And that's the shit that keeps me on my toes, bro. I'm not even gonna front. Like that shit keeps me on my toes. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man.
Oh yeah, man. Big salute. Of
the artists in my peripheral, you guys got to be like the 2 most consistent. You know what I'm saying? And regularly dropping, man. So that's dope to see. So next track you got Quento Chino featuring Salazar. I know you've told me before, and by the way, he comes with that dope Spanish hook. You've told me before that you don't like to lean into the Spanish thing more than necessary, but I think for this track, man, I see a video for it, man. I would love for you to lean into it a bit if you're
Yeah.
planning a video.
Oh, that's good.
And show us that Miami flavor,
Yeah,
man.
that's gonna happen for sure. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm cool with showing it as long as it's organic, and that's how I feel about everything. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that is really how we talk, bro. If you hang out with me and Salazar, that's how we talk. You're hearing, maybe 60% English, 40% Spanish. It's this weird hybrid Spanglish
Right.
situation. You know what I mean? So it's real,
Yeah.
bro.
But you're Dominican. Is he Dominican
Nah,
or no?
he's Cuban.
He's
See,
Cuban. Got it.
I'm Dominican, but I picked up a lot of like the Cuban mannerisms and like intonations when you talk. So I'll be saying like
Yeah.
Dominican. It's a weird. The way I talk Spanish is weird, bro, because I grew up around Cubans. You know what I mean? So I have I say
Right.
Dominican words, but it sounds like a Cuban saying. Like, it's weird, bro.
Right. But when you get, I mean, most of your homies, I guess, in your cipher or in your circle are Spanish. You guys all understand each other well enough when you speak Spanish. I guess you're all
Of course,
like different nationalities.
of course, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
we all grew up in
Got,
Miami, so there's this
right.
there's this thread. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Right.
Miami-isms. We speak
Yeah,
Miami,
yeah,
dog. Facts.
yeah. Got it. That makes sense. That makes sense. So track 6, Snow on Bird Road. Wanted to quote a lyric here. You're like, and don't get fooled by some deep sense of ties, because that's when you drop your defense, and they drop the pretense, and then they get to reaching, and now you're staring down the barrel of a cannon, and it ain't have a lens this time, and that ain't love. Wanted to ask you, your buzz is slowly growing. You're building with different producers, artists, people reaching out. Do you feel this is becoming more of a factor as time goes, as kind of your buzz grows in dealing with people, that you got to keep your guard up? Or I thought I'd ask you.
Yeah, you could look at it as keeping your guard up. I look at it as I just protect my energy, you know?
Right,
So I have to gauge accurately how much energy I could give to other people. And then like I gotta be able to recognize like when I need to like take a moment out for myself, because it gets to be a lot, bro, and it could be consuming if you don't control it. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
I'm very careful about that, man. And I have a lot of acquaintances, but I have a small circle. You get
right,
what I'm
right.
saying? And
Is it a bigger thing as time goes on and your buzz slowly grows, or?
I mean, I've always been conscious of it. So
Got
now
it.
it's like maybe I have to be hyper conscious about it. But yeah, it's just something that's always been there, bro. I've always been this way. You know what I mean?
Understood.
So in a lot of ways, I'm well built for that because I keep
Yeah,
my circle small, and I've learned enough lessons throughout the years.
yeah,
More importantly, you know what I'm saying? I've been like other artists and performers, like I've trusted people that I shouldn't have trusted, and put
yeah.
myself in situations that I shouldn't have been in.
Right,
So I'm operating off that. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe if I didn't have all those years on my back, I'd be
right.
operating a different way. But yeah, I've
Got it.
learned too many lessons to make the same mistakes again. You know what I mean?
It's automatic.
Fact.
So the next track, Fear Factory featuring Scam 2. I'm gonna start shouting out the producers. Is it Zagnito or
Miz
is the M silent?
Agnito. Yeah, Miz
Ms.
Agnito.
Agnito.
Yeah.
Interesting. So Scam 2 sounds like a character on this track. Kind of, I think has like some dramatic strings and all that stuff. It's funny, every time I listen to Scam, he was on your last album, he's always talking about how he hates the beats that he's on, but he's doing you a favor. He
Bro,
literally raps it out.
I be
So he
fucking with
said,
him,
I
bro.
hate that this has no snare. He literally said that in his rhyme. What's up with that, man?
Not to Miz Agnito. I'm sorry. I apologize for my friend Scam, bro. You know what I'm saying? He just can't help himself. He don't like the no drums. You know what I mean? He can't
Right.
help himself, bro. Nah, man. Scam is the man, bro. Like, Scam. Shout out to Scam. He's out in Berlin right now doing damage, bro. He just did a track with Daniel's son.
Oh, yeah?
He's out there doing damage. Yeah, man. Shout out to Scam. That's the homie.
Nice.
But yeah, he
So
always disses the producer. I'm like, yo, bro, like. So I fuck. He actually is funny you say that because today he sent me back a verse for a track off my new album, and then he's like,
yeah,
damn, you know, he sends it back. I listen to him. Yo, that shit is dope. And then he texts me like a couple minutes later. He's like, oh man, I fucked up on the verse. I was like, why? He's like, I forgot
right.
to diss the producer, bro. I was like, fuck you, man. Yeah.
I think every MC has like certain things they'll bring up over and over again in a rhyme. It just
Yeah.
happens. I think that's his thing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So I'm gonna skip a track here. We're gonna go to Art Vandelay, produced by Ched. Joe Hurricane's doing the talking, man. His talking is dope. It really fills the atmosphere in the project. Like it can't be. He deserves his props on that. Is he always talking in your projects? 'Cause I think you should have him on every project, pretty much.
Yes. Starting with Go Farm, he's been on every one of my projects. He's already on the next one. I already got his slot on the next one. You know what I mean? That's Hurricane Joe, Sick Vic, Sauce Kings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the guy right there, bro. Yeah, he's you know, the thing about him is he's kind of like established this reputation as like the hood Tony Robbins out here.
Right.
He's a fucking motivator. You know what I'm saying? And,
Right.
and like,
Right.
it ain't bullshit either. Like,
right.
You know, it ain't snake oil. Like this dude really, he's like that, bro.
Right.
I hang out with this guy. Trust me. Like he's really, really like that. You know what I mean? So
right.
Yeah, I just want to. Bro, I want to honor the homie because he inspires me, man. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
Yeah.
He's talking when he does the talking. He's like, what is he saying? He's talking about, are you putting in that work? He's repeating, are you putting in that work? I just want to ask you, are you putting in that work? So he's always around doing shit like that, motivating people.
Look, and the reason why it sticks here in Miami is because motherfuckers, you go outside and you're gonna run into Hurricane Joe.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like,
people know he is putting in that work, so he could talk that shit. You feel me?
Right. Yeah. And he runs that Fire in the Booth platform. Is that right?
That's allegedly.
Okay. Gotcha.
You know, shout to Chris Johnson.
Understood. Yeah. So next track, Cortadito, produced by Tev95. You know.
Cortadito.
What does that mean? Educate me, man.
Cortadito is a Cuban espresso with milk. Cortadito means like corta means cut. That means it's cut with milk. You feel me?
Got it. I'm gonna quote you here again. You're like, you rappers are having an existential, and that's what happens when your legacy is etched in pencil. I got no time for being sentimental. Any shot I sent, I meant to. You just keep it going, man. You do it really effortlessly, man. Putting these rappers in check,
I
man.
can smell the pussy. That scent is menstrual.
There you go. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm a wordplay guy. You know that, man. You know that's why we get into these rap nerd conversations a lot, man. Because deep down, that's what I love. I love listening to that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I really respect rappers like Royce the 5'9", like dudes that bend words like that. You know what I mean? Like that's why that's the sport of it to me.
That's a prerequisite for me. Like if you have everything but you don't have that, I can't fuck with you.
Yeah.
Even if you have the best production, good songwriting, if you don't have the wordplay, I'm just not interested because I've heard so many words rhyme together over the years. Right. You know what I mean? It's a factor for me. So that's a big reason why I fuck with your style. So
you know what's interesting to me when I listen to a rapper is like, I don't mind if you hit me with some one-syllable rhymes, as long as I know that you could do absolutely you could do the complicated shit. If I know you can do it, I'll give you that grace. You could give me a whole song of just like simple shit, because I'll just look at it as like some clever shit, because I know you could do it. You feel me? But it's a prerequisite for me, man. Like you got to be able to rap, bro.
It's not even throwing out big words. It could be combinations of smaller words used in ways that sound natural, but no one has really spit it like that. I take what Rakim said. He said, I could take a phrase that's rarely heard, flip it, now it's a daily word. Like, to me, that pretty much sums it up. You know what I mean? So, Yeah, man. Um, so the next track, Crab Bisque with Art Marrera, that was an interesting one. I listened to it a bunch of times, and then I came to understand that maybe you guys are talking to each other on that track. So not to stir the pot, but can you tell us more about that track and how it came together?
Well, what led you to that conclusion? I'm curious.
Um, just some of the bars, just some of the bars. And I can't even recall them all off the top of my head. It was just some of the bars felt like you were kind of talking to each other, and the way you transitioned things you were saying between the yeah.
Yeah, it was. I don't think we were talking to each other. I
Got it.
don't think we were talking to each other, but we were definitely addressing some of the same gripes.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? And it was born out of a conversation that we had just had that was, you know, like tense. I don't know if tense is the
Oh,
word. It's not,
we don't even have to get into the details. You know me,
nah, but
I
it's
don't do
good.
controversy.
No,
You
no,
know what
no,
I'm
it's
saying?
good. Yeah, yeah,
To
no,
the
it's good.
degree. So
Listen,
go ahead.
I won't.
Go
I'm
ahead.
not gonna divulge details and shit. But it was definitely born out of a conversation that was like it was a real conversation. Let's put it that way. It was real. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't tense. It wasn't no fighting, but it was real, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's the first time in my life that I've done this. But I was like, yo, bro, I'm gonna send you a beat. Let's just put this shit on wax. And it was
Yeah.
like there was like a silence on the phone, and he was like, all right. You know what I'm saying? And it was like
Right.
we literally just put the conversation on wax. And I gotta say, ever since then, the conversation's been over. Like I
Yeah.
feel pretty good about it. I think he feels pretty good about it. So in the way that song came together is my favorite on the album. I don't know if that song is my favorite on the album. It's definitely up there. But the
Yeah.
way it came together was crazy. Like I've never
Yeah.
really done anything like that, and that feels like true art to me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we took some real life shit and just we put it on wax, bro.
And it's pretty cool. I mean, you guys didn't take any heavy shots at each other, but it's cool that you settled. It seems to have settled your differences just through a song. That's pretty cool. Yeah, man.
Yeah, dope shit. Dope shit. Hip hop, man.
So Action Figure is in the chat. I've been
Peace.
meaning to
Peace,
check
action
out your
figure.
music, man, in more detail, man. I will shortly. Action Figure. I see you doing your thing.
Yo, peace to
Thanks for
everybody in the
coming
chat.
through.
Peace to Tiff.
Yeah, man. Tiff,
Everybody in the chat, man.
Plant
Straight up.
Power, Remen, Moth Music. So moving along, we got the closer, Elon Hardaway. You got Scratches by Baked Pliskin. That was produced by True Cipher. Upbeat, not a premiere vibe, but kind of a beat like a premiere beat. I thought it was a good way to end it. So yeah, man, dope
I fuck with
project,
that
man.
one. You know what's funny about that one is like the vibe was so different from the rest of the album because it's so up tempo. That's why I put it at the end and made it a bonus track. Even though I've
Right.
always really liked that one, you know what I'm saying? But it
Yeah.
felt like different from the rest of the album. But yo, at the listening party, that one probably
Yeah.
got the best reception. Honestly,
That was the one.
that it might have got the best reception. I'll be honest with you. That one, the joint with Maze,
Right.
got a great reception.
Right.
That one, that was one of them for sure. Shout out to Blake
Nice, man.
Pliskin too, bodied the cuts. You know what I mean? Blake Pliskin, he's another Miami heavy hitter that people need to look out for, man. He's motivated right now, and
Yeah,
that's
man.
to me that's one of the attributes. If I see that motivation, that fire, bro, that you know what I'm saying, like that's one of the most important attributes to have, bro. That fire,
Yeah.
bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have all the talent in the world, bro, but if the work ethic and you know what I mean, the need to perform and the need to practice, you know what I mean? If you don't have that, bro, then what's it really worth? Honestly,
Yeah.
bro, I'm like on some real shit. You know, I've met a lot of rappers that rap
Right.
well, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
New York, LA, I've been there. I've met a
Yeah.
lot of great rappers that are not rapping right now. You know what I'm saying? So the
Right.
fire is everything, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It's not about dropping a verse or one song or a mixtape here and there. It's
Nah,
about the fucking long haul, bro.
yeah,
It's a marathon, man.
facts.
And people got to tell the difference and respect those that are constantly kind of with their head in the game for sure.
I constantly feel like I'm not doing enough, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
Why is that?
No, I'm just saying, like, you have to have that. You gotta
Right.
have that. Like, it doesn't matter that I'm on whatever number album this year. It's I constantly feel like, bro, I gotta do more. I gotta do more. I gotta do more, and I don't want to lose that. You know?
Yeah. For sure, man. So any plans for this album, kind of, for the next couple of months? Any plans or any performances, or it's kind of what's in the plans? If you can enlighten us.
So the different thing that we're doing with this album is the album's only available on Bandcamp. We are
Right.
gonna do, like, we're gonna drop singles on the streaming platforms, but as far as like listening to the whole album front to back, you gotta either get it on Bandcamp or you can cop the physicals. We got vinyls coming and we got CDs coming too. Look out for that. That's real. We had some for the listening party, but we're doing an official drop probably next week.
Nice.
So yeah, man. But I just felt like with the streaming platforms, that's more of a platform for singles anyway. I feel like
Yeah.
most people on Spotify don't bump albums, bro. They play playlists and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna do the singles on the streamers, and if you want the whole album, it's on the Bandcamp, and you know what I mean. You could get it from there. Support us directly. And yeah, man.
I've been noticing a trend, like with what you're saying. Albiz and others are like shying away from putting the albums on Bandcamp as of late. Is that a new thing,
On Spotify.
or is that, sorry, on Spotify?
Yeah, I don't know. My shit wasn't really based on what anybody else is doing, but if they're reading the same thing that I'm reading, then you know what I
Yeah.
mean. It tells me that I'm probably headed in the right direction. Because
Got it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
looked at it like as a better way to maximize the product, and not only that, but like to tailor the product to the platform. If Spotify's
Right.
not really an album platform, like, look, I'll be honest with you. Why I really made this decision is because some of the songs from my previous album got lost in
Mhm.
the sauce, bro. From my
Right.
previous albums, you know what I'm saying? That there's certain songs on there, like the shit that I got with Sky Zoo, that shit should have way better numbers than it does. I'm just
Right.
keeping it a buck with you, bro. That shit should have way better numbers, but since we just put it on the album and didn't really promote it as a single, I feel like we kind of dropped the ball with that. So
Right. Right.
this
Right.
is a way to just like give every song like the love and care that it that it deserves. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Staggering the release of the singles, the ones you want to be heard the most. That's what you're saying on
Right.
Spotify.
And again, if you want the album, it's still there for you on Spotify. So on Bandcamp. So it's a win-win.
Right. So look, I heard the album a month ago. I called it a classic. It's kind of cool that you told me, at the premiere, that's what people were saying. The way I described the album, the way it hit my ears, is that's the way people were feeling it. So that's cool. I even copped the album as well. I suggest everyone cop it if, support quality hip hop. But, I only fuck with the best. I try my best to like pick the best artists to interview, and I just want people to trust my word when I say it's worth copying. It's worth copying, and I suggest you go out and do that.
You're
And
fucking with me. You're
yeah, man,
fucking with the best.
there you go, man. Exactly. So, Shottie, it's been a pleasure once again. Thank you for coming on the platform. Anytime you drop, you're welcome here, of course. And we'll be pushing your music on my platform all day, man. So, thanks again.
Appreciate you, man. Death occurred last night. Shottie305.bandcamp.com. Take that shit up. Show support directly. You know what I mean? The streaming is cool. We could run up the streaming and the YouTube numbers all you want. But really, man, support the artist directly. And that's how we could keep giving y'all this fly shit. You know what I mean? And as always, Al V, bro, you're the homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate you. I don't take anything you say for granted. And I appreciate you sharing your platform with me like this, bro. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that, man. And thank you for everyone in the chat. Thank you for joining. Have a great night. Peace.
Peace.